patted his hand and told him, "Never mind, Grandfather, I'll just be gone a minute." She left, sidling between shopping bags and weekend cases along the narrow aisle, holding tight to her saucer-like hat. 3 cars up, she paid for 2 root beers and a sack of cheese doodles. She returned walking carefully, opening doors with her elbows and frowning at the plastic cups, which were filled to the brim. Just inside her own car, the cheese doodles fell, and a man in a business suit had to pick them up for her. "Oh, thank you," she said, and smiled at him, her cheeks grown suddenly pink. At first glance, she could be taken for a young girl, but then people saw the fine lines beginning to show in her skin, and the faded blue of her eyes, and the veined, parched 40-year-old hands with the scratched wedding band looking 3 sizes too large below one knobby knuckle. She had a ramshackle way of walking, and a sharp, merry voice. "Root beer, Grandfather," she sang out. If he didn't hear her, all the rest of the car did. She put a cup in his hand, and he took a sip. "Ah, yes," he said. He liked herby things, root beer and horehound drops and sassafras tea. But when she tore open the cellophane bag and presented him with a cheese doodle, a fat orange worm that left crystals on his fingertips, he frowned at it from beneath a tangle of white eyebrows. He had once been a judge. He still gave the impression of judging everything that came his way. "What is this?" he said. But that was a verdict, not a question. "It's a cheese doodle, Grandfather. Try and see." "What's that you say?" She held out the bag, showing him the lettering on the side. First, he replaced the cheese doodle, and then he wiped his fingers on a handkerchief he took from his pocket. Then he went back to drinking root beer and studying the clipping, which he had laid flat on one narrow triangular knee. "Teresa," he said. "I never cared for that name." Justine nodded, chewing. "I don't like difficult names. I don't like foreignness." "Perhaps they're Catholic," Justine said. "How's that?" "Perhaps they're Catholic." "I didn't quite hear." "Catholic!" Faces spun around. "Don't be ridiculous," her grandfather said. "Paul Tabor went to the same church I did. He was in my brother's Sunday school class. The 2 of them graduated from the Salter Academy together, and this dissatisfaction set in, this newness. I can't tell you how many times I've seen it come to pass. A young man goes to a distant city instead of staying close to home. He gets a job, switches friends, widens his circle of acquaintances, marries a girl from a family no one knows, lives in a house of unusual architecture, names his children foreign names that never were in his family in any preceding generation. He takes to traveling, buys winter homes and summer homes and vacation cottages in godforsaken states like Florida where none of us has ever been. Meanwhile, his parents die, and all his people just seem to vanish. There's no one you can ask anymore. Now, what is Paul up to these days? Then he dies himself, most likely in a very large city where there's nobody to notice, only his wife and his barber and his tailor, and maybe not even the last 2, and what's it for? What's it all about? Now, in Paul's case, I just couldn't say for certain, of course. He was my brother's friend, not mine. However, I will hazard a guess. He had no stamina. He couldn't endure. He wouldn't stay around to fight it out or live it down or sit it through, whatever was required. He hadn't the patience. He wanted something new, something different. We couldn't quite name it. He thought things would be better somewhere else, anywhere else. And what did it get him? Watch, next time I'm in Baltimore, I'll tell the family, Paul Tabor died. Paul who? They'll say. Paul Tabor, it was in the Baltimore Sun. Don't you read it anymore? Don't you know? Well, of course they do read it and would catch any familiar name in a flash, but not Paul Tabor's. Forgotten. All forgotten. He discarded us. Now he's dead.